Asian stocks fall on nagging Fed fee hike concerns. Asian shares tracked Wall Street losses and the yen fell on Friday as investors remained full of uncertainty over how aggressively the Federal Reserve would improve hobby prices to address inflation in spite of softer numbers earlier this week. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outdoor Japan fell 0.10%, and Australia's AXJO was down 0.62%. Japan's Nikkei changed into the major outlier, surging 2.37% to its highest level because January as markets reopened following a countrywide holiday. The yen fell 1.24% and turned into trading at 133.39 to the dollar. The mild easing of inflation readings this week had driven international shares better and capped a rising dollar, till a string of Fed speakers positioned paid to expectancies of the relevant bank going sluggish on similarly policy tightening. China's Blue Chip Inventory Index published its largest jump in greater than 3 months on Thursday. The Fed is going to do what they stated, that is something it takes to address inflation, so that you are seeing some repositioning around that out of U.S. equities, stated Carlos Casanova, senior economist at UBP. The S&P 500 closed down 0.07% and the Nasdaq Composite misplaced 0.58% in a single day, even though the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.08%. San Francisco Federal Reserve Bank President Mary Daly stated on Thursday that while a 50 foundation factor rate hike subsequent month makes sense given economic data, she'd be open to a bigger hike if necessary. The rate is presently within the 2.25% to 5% range. Chicago Fed President Charles Evans said he believes the Fed will probably need to lift its policy rate to a few 0.25% 3.5% this year and to a few 0.75% 4% by using the give up of next 12 months, consistent with what Fed Chair Jerome Powell signaled after the Fed's present-day meeting in July. And, Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari, the most hawkish of his 18 colleagues, stated he hasn't seen something that adjustments the need to elevate the Fed's policy charge to a few 0.9% by way of year-end and to 4.4% via the stop of 2023. Chewing over those feedback, traders have been nonetheless unsure how set the Fed is. Odds of a 75 bits per second hike in September were as excessive as 68% earlier in the week, but are now around 34%, in which they were per week in the past. U.S. 10-year Treasury yields U.S. 10 YT equals RR held firm after rising overnight and have been final trading at 2.8766%. In commodities, Brent crude oil futures fell 0.63% to $98.97 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude became additionally down, dropping 0.69% to $93.69. Brent remains on the right track to advantage greater than 4% this week, even as WTI seems probable to mark a weekly climb of 5%. Bitcoin, the main cryptocurrency, shaved a few overnight gains and lost 1.22% to exchange at $23,916. Spot gold become down 0.14% at $17,687 an oz.